Welcome back everyone, it's Genevieve and I want to talk about the spells that they teased us. These obviously have something to do with Selenopolis. The interesting thing about Selenopolis is obviously Selene having to do with the goddess of the moon and polis, which is city. So there's actually a project to have an actual habitat on the moon, which is also called Selenopolis. So it's interesting. But because it is a place like on the moon, I really wonder where we're going to be going to find this place. Because Krokotopia is very much a daytime place. However, if we go and visit my favorite of the 4 dungeons, I know it's hard to pick a favorite, they're fantastic. Well, looky here. Doth that be a gigantic moon? Yes. Yes, it is. Could we perchance enter Selenopolis somewhere in this dungeon? Well, I don't know about that because your wizard has to be level 60 to be able to enter this dungeon. And they did say that you were going to start learning these things from the trees at level 50. So, I don't think it's that idea. Now let's talk about the spells themselves. They did a great job with Ra. I think Ra is very fitting, very close to, what the standard depiction of Ra is. But that's kind of it until you get to this dungeon. I mean, all the rest of the villains are, crocs and stuff. But they're more modeled after people, not the Egyptian deities. Whereas Amet the Devourer is actually from the Egyptian mythos of deities. So we can just go through all of these spells and I will tell you who I think they're based off of. Let's start off with the balance. Balance gets a little bit of a cheat because chameleons don't have one of the known deities in the Egyptian pantheon. However, chameleons were seen as having association with Ra because they were believed to have some sort of magical powers to be able to change their color, and that could also be associated with tricksters, which are in basically every religion and mythos. Now, personally, I was very disappointed in this spell. I mean, I love the fact that it clearly has the option to hit any of the schools, because if you go through it, you'll see it has the colors associating with the other schools. It just happened to hit a death hit in this particular example. So it'd be interesting to see if it's different amounts based on the school or what. However, the goofy little chameleon going, hey, look at the moon, be distracted by creepy moon guy, I think that's what really throws people off. And because all of the other schools get such a cool, bad looking deity, I think they're like, what? What is this? Why do we get a silly one when nobody else got a silly one? Although some people think that myth is a silly one, but we'll get to that. All right, next up is death. Hello, Anubis. Heck yeah, gorgeous, fantastic, 100% wonderful, love it. I mean, Anubis is like the rock star of the Egyptian pantheon. Seriously, everybody knows Anubis. Next up is fire. This one confused a lot of people because I did watch a bunch of videos to see if anybody could figure out who any of these were based off of, just to see if they were a little bit obsessed like me and ran to the internet to go look up Egyptian gods. Well, number one, this is actually first shown off in Pirates Krokotopia update. It is actually the correct appearance of Amit the Devourer. Go figure. Because as you see, it is crocodile head, lion front, hippo back, which is why everyone's like, why is the crocodile part gray? I don't know if they got a little bit, I don't want to say lazy, but you know, they didn't want to create a just hippo part. You can see it kind of looks hippo-y, and then it has a croc tail. That's what Amit is supposed to look like, because it's all of the dangerous things that will kill and eat you in the land. Lions, crocodiles, hippos. There you go. Next up is ice. Alright, this one had me thrown for a loop. Because I'm like, okay, Egyptian god that's like just human. But upon looking closer, you see that the thing on top of their head is looking like a falcon. Unfortunately, there's a bunch of people this could be. It narrows it down that it is male, I'm assuming. It's got no shirt on. I don't think Ki would do that to us, because there's quite a few gods associated with the falcon. Osiris, Horus. But I'm also looking to see if there's any god associated with winter, storms. I mean, I don't snow that often over there, but it is possible, I'm sure. So there actually is one. Their name is Shu, and that one is the god of air. I know, that's mostly like a storm thing, but I mean, yes, they're typically depicted as a man wearing a headdress with a feather on it, but they're the one that's closest associated with winter and storms, which is kind of looking like it's a tornado, right? It's a tornado that brings the ice. Now, the thing on their arm looks like some cool video game bow, like crossbow. So I was thinking it'd be kind of cool if they actually shot ice arrows at you. That's just me. Let me know what you think about this one, because I could be totally wrong. I'm not an expert whatsoever on the Egyptian pantheon. Just saying. Next up is life. I know, everyone's getting excited. They thought it was Moolinda Wu. She's not from Crocotopia, so it would definitely make sense that it wasn't her. However, this goddess, their name was spoiled. This is how I even found out that they existed. So way back in July, it was spoiled that there was a quest location name of Selenopolis in the halls of Taweret. So of course I looked that up. And there's also a quest location name of the Vivarium. Well, Vivarium would be kind of like a life sort of thing anyway. So maybe both of them have to do with life. I don't know, because Taweret is clearly the goddess who is in the depiction of the life spell. She is the hippo, obviously. And on to myth. Oh yes, the infamous myth. I know, there's a lot of people wondering what in the world's going on with myth. Okay, this is an actual Egyptian deity called Bubby. And there's a reason why they go a little psycho, because they're the god of violence. I mean, it's a Hamadryas baboon. I have personally worked with them. They can be a bit psycho. Yeah, it would have been cool. I read the comments on some people were saying about should have got some laser eyes. I agree. It would be great if these spells all had like dual animations, like for attacks or whatever, but I know. Wish in one hand, but that is the accurate baboon that they're using for it. Yes, indeed. So, yeah, it's the god of violence. So they went cuckoo and bashed you with the big old scroll. And finally, storm. Alrighty, this one wasn't too hard to find. There's a name of Heket. I'm guessing I'm pronouncing that right. However, I did find out that there's another frog deity that is male and female. They're twins. And they are called Kek and Kauket. They have connection to the waters of Nun, the source of all creation, which they're associated with the night and the dawn. So Keck was the bringer of light, and they're usually two different color frogs too. One of them's lighter, one of them's darker. Calquette is actually the female version who was known as the bringer of darkness, not in like a bad way. They oversee the hours of twilight when the sun is setting. And they guided the barge that Ra would sail down into the underworld. Yeah, there's like a whole thing with Ra being the day and the night and the sun going and them dying and resurrecting every day. It's actually a really cool read. So yes, I don't know which one of those frog deities that they chose, because the other one is the frog goddess of fertility and life. However, she's often shown holding an ankh or a lotus flower. And what is associated with lotus flowers? Lily pads. But then again, frogs are just associated with lily pads, so it's hard to say. I think they did like a really good job with these. They look really good. They're really crisp. Again, I think the chameleon one is a great idea, but maybe like the animation itself could be like a little bit better. It's just kind of weird that they chose what they chose. Totally forgot you could see the island down there. I was like, ooh, content. No. It would be great if we got to go there on yet another ship, seeing as how they gave us the Mushu ship up there to go to Kembalung Village. And that one wasn't there in the early days. And there's also a little rowboat that takes you over to the big boat that takes you over to the hidden unknown island. And that one's not quite day and not quite night either. So that's also very, very interesting. I don't know how we're going to get there. I'm hoping that they might show another one of these buildings over here some love. I don't know. There's definitely going to be a cool way to go. I can guarantee that. I believe it. Because, you know, we get this coolness right here. A nice view of everything. Who knows? Maybe we'll go to the top of the pyramid and, I don't know, sail over there to the moon or something. So the way you go to Kembalung Village is through this portal to the side of some shops. Talk to a dude, and then you go there. I don't know if this island was never here previously or what. Because there's a timed teleporter down at the bottom where you can go up here to this island, and there's a special shop up there where you get a badge just for going into it. You never know. Maybe the teleporter, I'm like, is there any other island here that we haven't like touched? Because I mean, technically this one's like taken up with stuff, but there's actually no shop here, so we can't do anything in it. And then there's this poor building here that never gets any love or attention. But you can sneak around it. At least part of it. Because the other islands we all go to. Clearly, the Crocosphinx and the Land of the Dead over here. I love that they have ropes holding them together. It's great. Or there could be a way from over here. I mean, there's lots and lots of options. I mean, there are some pillars behind this one over here for no reason. That's a little suspicious. I mean, look at all this free real estate. Look at this. Look, 3 pillars, no reason whatsoever. Just saying, you could totally do it. And then there's space over here where we could do something. I don't know, launch another boat? I don't know. And then also down here where Zeke and Eloise are. I mean, like, there's nobody even in these tents. Seriously. You can actually go behind the library over here. And then, of course, there's the library itself. That's so crazy that there's an exact copy of Crocotopia outside of the library just because you can see out the windows. That's some detail. See, that's the only reason is because you can look out the windows. Is that crazy or what? That is like max level detail. So there could be like a door up here or something. I don't know. Let's move the case away and, you know, find something. There could be anything. There are so many possibilities. And then finally, and this isn't even thinking about anywhere inside the Crocosphinx, the death place, or the pyramid. But look at how many places in here you could. I mean, seriously. So there's like just so much you could do in here. Look how many doors are in here. Now, looking at the crisp, clean details of the brand new bundle house, that stuff looks fantastic. But now that I'm looking at these, that's like back in time. Look at how old and weathered everything here is. Is that interesting? I find it highly interesting. Everything here looks like it's, 1,000 years old. Paint's coming off of stuff. It's all cracked and faded and sand blown. Whereas this is nice and crisp and, I don't know, freshly made. So that I find very, very, very interesting. I didn't notice it at first because I was just aghast at the beauty of it. But that is another thing to consider. These are like brand new. These are like freshly carved things. All this stuff looks brand new except, some of the tile that we're walking on. And remember when I was checking these things out and oh wow, they're so crisp and everything. I was looking at the ones over in the pyramid at the dig site. Yeah, it's all the same stuff. All the same. Very, very interesting. So that's just one more crazy thing to consider. Why is everything in this house brand new? But yeah, like this thing is all brand new. I was over in the pyramid and it's all dusted, musty, sandblasted. Alrighty, friends, let me know what you think about all this crazy stuff. Which one of those spells is your favorite? Which one do you think best embodied the Egyptian god in the pantheon that they have decided to use for it? And hopefully Test Realm isn't next week, but it probably is. So we'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Banana.